What's going on, you guys? The Keith Carnes here, and it is Friday. It's officially the last Friday of October, and what better way to do it than with an episode of not only which is better, but a comparison of two Halloween movies from John Carpenter's 1978 horror movie Halloween versus Rob Zombie's 2007 remake Halloween. Now, this is a controversial subject. A lot of people would probably automatically pick the 1978 classic by John Carpenter, Halloween. A little comparison here for you. Where's that other movie? Just getting them down here. Sorry, it's shaking the laptop a bit. Come on, you bastard. Alright. So it's all about these versus each other, you know? Well, it's glaring. You got the original Halloween and the remake. It's really, of course, as always, you know, you guys have your own opinion, but I'm here to give mine. This is my channel. This is my video. And pretty much this is what my channel consists of. Is me telling you my opinions. So of course, let's look at it. 1978, Halloween came out. It wasn't the first movie to show a killer. You know, obviously yesterday at the time of this filming, I uploaded Movie Talk episode 4, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, you know, I mean, that movie came out first. That came out in 1974. This movie came out 4 years later, in 1978. So Michael definitely was not the first, quote, slasher. I think the first slasher out there would probably be considered Norman Bates from the original Psycho from 1960 or in the 60s. However, in 1978, when Halloween did come out, it was original in its own way. You know, you had a guy that donned a mask, not original, once again, but I'm just explaining the movie. You know, you had a mental patient who escapes, goes back to his childhood home, you know, and then decides to stalk Laurie Strode, who in this movie we didn't know was his sister. We don't find out it's his sister until Halloween 2, I believe. And so he stalks her, kills all her friends. Long story short, you know, she survives both nights against Michael in both Halloween 1 and 2, but we're only talking about Halloween 1. A lot of people really loved it. It was definitely a first movie of its kind in its own way. It was unique at the time. You know, nothing like Michael Myers had been done before, with the exception of Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw that came out 4 years prior. You know, then in 2007 we get a remake. You know, we had a long string of questionable sequels. Whether they were good or not is really up to you. I don't really think they're as bad as people like to say they are. So Rob Zombie takes on the task, a very hard movie to tackle, because he's having to try to please the classic fans as well as attract people that aren't particularly necessarily fans of the first film, and maybe aren't even fans of Michael to begin with, but maybe this is a way to reinvent Michael for those fans that just didn't like the original film or films. Rob Zombie goes out. He makes a pretty much reboot with some of the same stuff kept in there. You know, Michael still has the same looking mask. He has the same kind of killing tool, you know, a kitchen knife. And instead of him just randomly killing his sister for apparently no reason, and it just being rage built up inside of him, which was explained throughout the original series, if you will, he was fucked with as a kid and ended up turning. Though it was very poorly explained why and how Michael was unkillable in Rob Zombie's film, saying that there was no rage, there was no real story behind it. He just randomly turned bad, kind of. and well, not randomly, but he just randomly became unkillable, and that was never explained, and that's a big pet peeve I have with both Rob Zombie's movies. But as far as which one is better, which one do I think is better, well, obviously you have to go with the classic 1978 Halloween. I think it was a much better movie in terms of the suspense, and that's really what that's really what Halloween was built off of. Halloween was really built off of suspense. It's not a gory, glorified movie. It's a movie that has, you know, some blood, but it's very, very light and very mild and very almost tastefully done, I guess you could say. And Rob Zombie, he had good intentions, but he took it a little too far, I think. I loved Rob Zombie's 2007, don't get me wrong, but there was certain things that were just kind of questionable, you know, and I think I have a right to say that as a fan, as a person that's been a fan of the original Halloween since I was like 9 years old, maybe 8. I was really young when I first saw Halloween, so I was a early bloomer for Michael Myers. I've been a fan for quite some time. Over a decade. Yeah, I've been a fan for 12 years. Going on 13 years. So I've been a fan of Michael Myers for over a decade. I know that's nothing compared to some of you. Some of you may have been fans since the first movie came out in 1978. And hey, thumbs up, man. Michael Myers is my favorite and always has been and probably always will be. I don't see that ever changing. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Which is Better. So if you want to, if you're a subscriber or not, whichever, if you want to share your thoughts on who you think is better, I mean, which movie you think is better. Do you think John Carpenter did a better job, or do you think Rob Zombie tackled it better? It's up to you. I love hearing everybody's thoughts. Me, I'm going to have to go with the 1978 original, not because it's the original, but simply because I find it more enjoyable to watch. Just me. Anyway, this is the Keith Carnes. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and the soonest I will see you guys again is on Sunday with a new episode of Unsolved Mystery Talk. Woo! And then, of course, on Monday is the 29th. So remember, on October 29th, I will be doing a new Is It Real episode, which is my favorite series to do. And then on Tuesday, I will have the WWE 13 unboxing for you guys, somewhere around 10, 11 in the morning. And then on Halloween, we have a special edition of Is It Real, a Halloween edition, which I announced a couple months back. So that is still happening. The Halloween special is coming, so be sure to tune in for some fun, I guess. I hope it's as fun as I think it will be. Anyway, this is Keith Carnes. I will see you guys in the next